Okay, here we go. So this is the video for the latest Spry version 1.6.3.1103. Similar to the last update, not a lot of huge changes here, just a lot of small quality of life improvements, which I'll go through now. So if you've been affected by a bug, I should have already emailed you about it. I'll go through a list of a few more of those in a little bit. But in terms of what's new feature-wise, so we've added the attach and detach rules to custom fields. So if you want to use your haulage rule names and those, you can now. I'm not going to demonstrate. You should be able to find them pretty easily. If you want to return them, you want to use the text wrap. So it'll be text of the haulage attach rule. If you're unsure on how to use it when you go to want to use it, just let us know. We've added labels and comments to the snapshot viewer, so this is a way to help you understand a little bit more about what's happening on the line of the output schedule. So if you're using a source label or you've got a comment on the line, then you're going to see that now in the snapshot viewer as well. Solid statistics, so just a simple one, just whether or not there's a solid for each record in these various parts of the table. So right click, the right click's getting added. We missed it on this round, but if you actually are in the field statistics menus, so the next version is going to have it, but if you go to you see your solids now, you can see where there is and is not a solid for these records. So those are now there. In terms of the rest of the features, let's pull that back up. Reset layout button. So we've got another one of these coming as well, but for the moment, if you want to reset your layout, so previously if you'd had a few different things selected in here and you wanted to reset it, you'd have to muck around a little bit more. There's a reset layout button here now. We're adding another one that'll be here. We missed it on this release as well, but that one's coming through on the next one. Speed improvements, sure. A lot of different things should feel quicker. There's too many to list. As per usual, we're just going through and trying to speed things up. This is a nice one. So case and table comparisons. So previously, if you wanted to do this XML Diff, which we're probably going to rename, you wanted to compare two different cases. So I'm just going to make a couple of quick changes to a copied case. If you wanted to understand what the differences were between those models, previously you would have to do some special kind of naming of things. Sorry, I've been mucking around in this model a little bit, but I'm just going to make this different. I don't have to save, it's just a habit. And then if I right click scenarios and go utilities XML Diff, if I select these two scenarios in the diff, I no longer have to try and map the name. Previously you'd have to sort of tell it not to compare the names, whereas now it's going to do that automatically. Just a nice quality of life improvement for that XML diff. So now what you can do is you can see in the equipment that the path for that gear has a different label. A few other things get changed when you copy. There's a handful of things that get adjusted, like the times on things might get a little bit of a change. So copy paste is a little bit of a funny one, but when you save and reopen, they'll be identical. So what else have we got here? Field statistics form inherits range. Yep, so another little nice one if you're doing statistics on a particular view, like let's say this one. You right click and choose field statistics. The range is now set to the range that you had selected. So it's a nice one. Table parameters, it's sort of a bug fix, sort of a nice to have. So another little issue here where if you were copying custom fields between cases where they say you were missing a process or your equipment was named slightly differently, you might end up with a partial paste, even if there were things that would have matched. So we're no longer sort of stopping that paste process, we're just ignoring the things that have the incorrect layout, so that should just be nicer for copying and pasting things in between models. Project documents with complex names, speed improvements, yeah, and project level documents to project diagnostics. So if you've got some decent sized PDFs or Word documents, when you go to your database statistics and you run this, it's no longer going to appear in the other section. You may also find that your model size on your next compact comes down a bit, so we've also picked up a bit of junk that was being held onto in the models that we didn't need anymore. So some of your models you might find that after you run a compaction, that you've squeezed anywhere from 20 to 150, 200 megabytes out of your database on top of what you normally might get. So yeah, nothing major. We're still working on quite a few interesting things that are just going through the testing processes and refinement, so just lots of small things at the moment. If there's any questions about what's happening with that, let us know. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I'll be shooting up a video in a little bit. Friday's Spry Play, if you're interested, will be about self-support. It's going to be some strategies on how to think about problems in Spry, about atomicizing problems, and just strategies for using the snapshot viewer and spreadsheets and pivot tables and things like that. So anyway, thanks for your attention as always. Have a good weekend and see you next time.